Good morning, children. Hoping to find you in your best. Today we are going to start our second topic of the chapter, the need of a parliament. Our topic today is formation of government and functions of parliament. Now, as I have discussed that day, parliament is very important for a democracy, and today we are going to discuss what are the two divisions of parliament, that is the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, and what is the role of the Prime Minister too. And in the functions of parliament we are going to discuss how it makes laws, how it controls the finance, how the electoral functions are conducted, how the executives are controlled, how the parliament has the power even to amend the constitution, and finally the judicial functions of the parliament. So let us start the chapter. Formation of government. After the general elections, a list is prepared showing how many members of parliament belong to each political party. The party having the largest number of elected members is the majority party. Now students, that day only I have told you that all the green markings in the book are the important key lines. So do mark them, don't forget, okay? And now what we have read, that after the general elections are conducted, as we discussed that day, then a list is prepared showing how many members of parliament belong to each political party. How many members of each party resemble in the parliament, that is calculated. The party having the largest number of elected members is the majority party. It should have at least half the number of the total members in the Lok Sabha. So, whatever seats are in the Lok Sabha, which we will discuss later on, out of that, the majority should be at least of half of the members to form the government. The leader of the majority party is appointed as the Prime Minister by the President. This is very important, okay? In case a single party fails to get the majority, then what will happen? Suppose nobody gets the full majority, then what will happen? Then the President invites the leader of the majority party to form a government with the support of other parties. Such a government is called coalition government. But students, such type of government in comparison to full majority is a very weak government. Now, the party or group of parties, as in a coalition, then selects its leader, who is appointed as the Prime Minister or PM. And then the PM prepares a list of Council of Ministers called Cabinet Ministers. So what we find, that the leader of the majority party becomes the Prime Minister, and then he prepares a list of Council of Ministers called Cabinet Ministers. The Cabinet Ministers are given different departments like finance, defense, foreign affairs, etc. So these departments are only called the executive departments. Now, before I touch Lok Sabha, I want to show you something. Children, you see here that day I discussed about the presidents of India. Do learn, at least the names are very important. Okay? So now let us start Lok Sabha. Members of Lok Sabha are directly elected by the people on the basis adult franchise. That means Lok Sabha members are elected directly by votes casted by the citizens of India. Now see here, very important lines are there. The maximum strength of the house envisaged by the constitution is 552, that is 552. Up to 530 members represent the states, and up to 20 members represent union territories, and not more than 2 members are nominated by the President of India. So total seats are there 552. 530 members represent the states, they come from the states being elected by the people. 20 come from the union territories, and 2 members are nominated by the President of India. Now, every state or union territory is divided into areas called constituencies. Now see, states are very big. So they are divided into smaller areas called constituencies. One representative from each constituency is elected to the parliament. Any citizen who is of 25 years of age or more can contest the election. So, to participate in the elections of Lok Sabha, you have to be at least of the age of 25 years. Elections are held after every 5 years. That means what is the term here? 5 years under normal circumstances. If due to some reason the president dissolves a Lok Sabha before 5 years, then mid-term elections are held. But because of any reason, if the president dissolves the Lok Sabha, that means the government becomes a failure, then mid-term elections are held. Rajya Sabha. Now we will discuss the Rajya Sabha. It is also known as the upper house or council of states. Lok Sabha is the lower house and Rajya Sabha is the upper house. Okay. It is a permanent house and it is not dissolved. Like see, Lok Sabha has a tenure of 5 years. But here no such tenure is there. Each member of this house will serve for 6 years. You see here, each member is elected for a term of 6 years and 1/3 members retire every second year. So 1/3 of the members who are of the age of retirement, they get retired every second year. And each member can serve here for 6 years. Members of the Rajya Sabha are indirectly elected by the elected members of legislative assemblies of the state. So, in Rajya Sabha, indirect election is conducted. In this indirect election, who elect the representatives of the public, they have the power to elect the members of Rajya Sabha. So, it can have a maximum number of 250 members and 12 members are nominated by the President of India. So, the maximum number of members here is 250 and 12 are nominated by the President of India. And who are these members? These members have special knowledge in the field of science, literature, art, cinema, etc. The minimum age of a person to become a member of Rajya Sabha is 30 years. The Prime Minister of India enjoys the most powerful position. See, President is the first citizen of India, but the Prime Minister is in the most powerful position. He or she is considered as the leader of the nation. Can you tell me why? The reason is that he is the leader of the most powerful party which is chosen by the citizens. So, Prime Minister is also the leader of the Lok Sabha. The PM presides over the cabinet meetings and decides the appointments to be discussed in the parliament. He or she is the link between the cabinet and the president of the country. So, all the council of ministers are under the Prime Minister and the Prime Minister is a bridge linking the council of ministers with the president of the country. As the head of the team of ministers, the ultimate decision making power rests with the PM. So, whatever decision will be taken, the final permission is to be taken from the PM. He or she has the power to appoint or remove any minister from the cabinet. So, you see, he is very powerful. The PM also supervises the working of the ministries and has the power to advise them as necessary. The ultimate direction the government wishes to take on foreign affairs and strategic matters rest with the Prime Minister. So, one thing is clear, beta, anything is to be done is to be first shown to the Prime Minister, discussed, debate with the Prime Minister, and then only the Prime Minister has the right to certify it and make it come into action. Now, we will discuss collective responsibility, but before that, I want to again show you something. Here is the list of the Prime Ministers. If you go through nicely, you can see the list of the Prime Ministers. Kindly try to learn the names. At least the names should be learned in sequence. Now, collective responsibility. The entire Council of Ministers is collectively responsible. Now comes the big thing. The total team of the Council of Ministers are responsible collectively for every operation. Okay. Now how? I am explaining. They are responsible to the Parliament for their acts of omission or commission. If for any reason the Parliament passes the vote of no confidence, the Prime Minister, along with his entire team of ministers, is required to resign collectively. It is because of this that such collective responsibility is also called the policy of swim and sink together. Now see children, these Council of Ministers and their leader, the Prime Minister, they have to take responsibility of any executive department. If anything goes wrong, then the total team of Council of Ministers along with the Prime Minister has to take the responsibility. If they are doing good also, then also they are taking the pleasure. If something goes wrong, then also it is their responsibility. And even if no confidence motion is passed, then also Prime Minister along with the entire set of council ministers, they have to resign. Understood? So that is why we say swim and sink together. तैरो तो भी एक साथ, डूबो तो भी एक साथ. Now, functions of Parliament. I told you that today we are going to discuss the functions of Parliament also. The first function of the Parliament is to make law. What is law? Law are the rules and regulations which are to be followed by the country. The country means the citizens, the government, the opposition, everybody in the country. So lawmaking is the main function of the Parliament. It makes law on matters given in the union list and concurrent list, and under special circumstances it has the right to make laws on state subjects. Now listen, what do you mean by union list, what is concurrent list, and what is state subjects? You have discussed this in class 6 and class 7. If you remember, union list refers to the list of work to be done by the central government, as we are following federalism, isn't it? Concurrent list is the list of work where state and central government both work together, and state subjects, that is the state list, is the list of works which is to be done by the state government. Now, the proposal for a law is called a bill. That means before being a law, the draft which is presented in the Parliament is called a bill. There are two types of bills, ordinary bill and money bill. Now, what is ordinary bill? Ordinary bill contains all the reforms the government wants to take. It can be initiated in either house of the Parliament. In both the houses, it can be initiated. When it is passed by both the houses, it is sent to the President for his or her approval. After getting the President's approval, the bill becomes a law. Understood? But the money bill, this is a bit different. It has to be initiated in the Lok Sabha, only in the Lok Sabha. After it is passed, it is sent to the Rajya Sabha, which has to return the bill within 14 days with or without any recommendation, any suggestions. Lok Sabha has the right to accept or reject the recommendations. That means Rajya Sabha can give suggestions, but it is up to Lok Sabha, it will accept or not. If the bill is not returned within 14 days, it is considered to be approved by Rajya Sabha. Now, control the executive. This is very important part. Why it is important? Because see, whatever is going to be done after the legislative purpose, whatever it is going to be done, it is to be done by the executive departments. So, Parliament keeps a check on the Council of Ministers by asking questions to ministers about issues regarding their respective departments. That means which department, whatever they are doing, the minister of the department is answerable for that. And how the Parliament asks them or notices them? By raising adjournment motions, calling attention notice, censure motions or debates. Lok Sabha can also pass a vote of no confidence motion against the Council of Ministers, which compels all ministers, including the Prime Minister, to resign. This we have discussed before. Everyone in the Council of Ministers shares the responsibility for the lapses of a single minister. If one minister has done something wrong, everybody has to share that responsibility. Understood? Okay. The third function of the Parliament is controlling the finance. The most important function of the Parliament is to pass the annual budget. Budget means what, beta? That means whatever income and expenditure we are doing, that is called the budget. Budget consists of estimated income and expenditure of the government. The executive has no authority to spend any money without the approval of the parliament. That means you are given a department, the government is given a department to work with the finance, because every department needs money. But you cannot spend the money without the consent of the parliament. Now, amendment of the constitution. Now listen children, sometimes it is required to amend the constitution also, because with the passage of time many things have changed, society has changed. So some things need to be corrected, but you cannot correct on your own. A proposal for amendment to the constitution is to be initiated only in the parliament. Majority of the proposals needed to be approved by 2/3 majority of both the houses of parliament, but in certain cases proposals require the approval of at least half of the states, after which they are passed by the parliament with majority. So children, you see one thing here, that majority of the proposals needed to be approved by 2/3 majority of both the houses of parliament. So when you want to amend, when the people sitting in the ruling party want to amend something in the constitution, they have to introduce the bill and it should be approved by 2/3 majority of both the houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. But in certain cases, special cases, proposals require the approval of at least half of the states. Got it? After which they are passed by the parliament with majority. Okay. Now next is electoral functions. Members of the parliament elect the president and vice president of India. This we have discussed in the first topic that day. And next, judicial function. What are the judicial functions? Parliament has the right to impeach the president, vice president and the judges of the Supreme Court and High Court. The process of impeachment can be initiated in any house of the parliament. That means if, like no confidence movement, if you are not satisfied with the work of these people mentioned here, these people means these positions mentioned here, then impeachment can be passed against them. But it should be it can be initiated in any house of the parliament. Understood? So children, here comes the end to our chapter. And hope you all have understood. So children, I want to tell you something, that when you will get your notes, you will see that all the book work I have solved there only. So you go through it, you will get the book work also, and let's check also I have done there. Okay. Thank you.